Hey, how you doing? Welcome to an episode of Real Men, Real Talk Nashville. I'm your host, Wayne. My co-hosts, Corey, Uncle White, and Daniel. Hitting on the hot topics we men sit around and talk about. Hit that Facebook and YouTube and hit the subscribe button as always. Corey, what we got?
Yeah, what don't we have? We've been away for a little while.
Yeah,
so a couple of things.
a little vacation. I mean,
we want to hit on. You know what I mean?
Graduations, vacations, and so on and so on. A lot has happened since then.
Not that, you know what I mean? A lot has happened, and a lot of it, believe it or not, has affected us. Again, you know what I mean? If you're a person of color and you know what I mean, you believe in your history, it's nothing explainable or excusable about them to taking the civil rights movement out of the textbooks down in Texas and in Florida. Not only in Florida, they want to remove all mention of slavery altogether. In South Carolina, their school books said slavery was a great thing for everybody involved. And I just think that's crazy.
Do you think the overall trying to, as far as the change, them trying to erase that history, because we do reflect on it. We constantly remind people of things that has happened, and so is it their, you think it's their job now to say, okay, we acknowledge it, but now we trying to forget it, so we just get rid of it altogether? You think them trying to erase it, we as black people will slowly forget about it, or are they just trying to say that, hey, we're trying to make this a better place as far as the racial divide?
I don't necessarily think it's trying to make it a better place. I think it's, if you don't know where you come from, you don't know what, you ain't gonna know when they're doing it to you again. If you don't know a history about photo suppression, about redlining, and about all the things they've done to oppress people of color, and if it ain't written in books to tell you that, hey, this happened in the 60s, this happened in the 70s, it's repeating itself today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reference we have to go back to. So what they want to do is get rid of the reference.
Mm-hmm. What you think, Uncle White?
It's frustrating. It's anger motivated.
Well, you think that's the overall, you think that's the game plan to actually get people so angry that now that we respond to it?
It's a way of...
The reason I say that is because we've been hearing this racial war that they trying to fire up, and then when we think it's going to fire up, it dies down, everybody mellows out, but then it's certain people in play that's still trying to get that fire going. So you think it's more or less when they know we're going to get frustrated or we get on the defense when they attack our history? You think that's more?
They erased the history, therefore there's no basis for what goes on today.
We have no argument.
That's right, no argument. All they can say is, your people will have, just like when they talk about the gun violence. They're talking about this morning. 97% of the gun violence is among people of color.
Perfect example, Chicago.
They don't address the basis of it. It's a lot of factors that go into it. You take into the advancement of technology has done away with jobs. You take into consideration which reflects on that, jobs going away, and you look at the business model. The business model doesn't say, well, we employ so many Americans, made in America. No, it's all about, okay, this year, your profit margin is going to go up to this. This is what you're going to make. But in the process of doing that, because the market is flooded with products, some of the jobs that went away, and they take away funding out of schools. So therefore, you have people that are lower, that are uneducated. There's no progress for them to move up. And so you revert back to different ways, different businesses that are not legal. And then the process of the family structure being hampered due to the fact of factories going away, black men being unemployed, so therefore the welfare program comes along. And to enhance the welfare program or which indirectly affects the family structure, an unemployed male cannot be in the household.
Well, I mean, but that's
And so therefore, that's where the family structure goes away. The family structure before that was, you have a household, everybody's there, your parents told you, okay, this is not the way you're supposed to conduct yourself. This shit that you see on TV is entertainment. This is not the norm of society. But instead, you have all this other influence that goes around, and it's just completely obliterated.
But that's you know.
And when you take it out of the history books, there's no freaking reference to revert back to.
That's true. But I mean, it's
The young person.
well, so I'll put it like this: so it'll be up to black people to basically keep that history.
Well, again,
Write our own history. Have our own history
that's
books.
not the
Sell the
importance
book.
right
but
now.
it goes by what we as a black person or black people do with the funding in our community, and when we achieve individual wealth. We need to be educating our kids. You know what I mean? We need to have you educated. If you were still on a plantation, you wouldn't have master educate your kids.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? We need to educate our kids. We need to come up with more schools. And today's age, it's easy to get charter school and get funding for those charter schools. I'm not an educator, so I can't tell you the ins and out of it. But what I can tell you is, you shouldn't let your enemy educate your children. That's first and foremost.
Right.
Now going back to the gun violence and the things Unc spoke on, he's absolutely right. But there's another layer on top of that.
Yeah.
And that layer is the kids. They can't teach us or tell us to go pick up no gun and act no fool, because we grown men and we know right from wrong. But our kids watch this mess on TV, these videos and these black guys, and they glorify that. You know what I mean? You know, you ain't gonna have a hit rap song if you ain't kill 4 people, or at least talking about killing 4 people. You got to be talking about selling dope in your community, treating black women like they less than dirt, or you got to kill somebody. If you talking anything about positive and getting your education and being a man, a pillar of the community, you're not getting no deal.
You're not reach the charts.
So you know what I mean? They pimp out violence among us. They pimp out homosexuality among us. And you know what I mean? Again, a person right to choose, a person right to choose. However, that's what our neighborhoods get.
As always, real talk, real men. Hey, we always. As always, another episode of Real Talk, Real Talk. As always, we greatly appreciate y'all hitting us up. Hey, that's a blooper. As always, hey,
real man, real talk. Damn it, here we go.